This is music, and this is a kind of response to Josh Keech. In a recent video, Josh Keech constructed what he considered to be the perfect modern era Maiden album based on the principles that they used to make their 80s era albums. Because, like a lot of other people, Josh has become a bit tired of how long the modern era Maiden albums are and how long the songs are. So he decided to kind of imagine that he were to put together a Maiden album the way they did it in the 80s, shorter albums, shorter songs, and then maybe one or two long songs. And, so he picked out some modern era Maiden songs and constructed an album based on that principle. And I figured that's kind of fun. It's very interesting too, because it's a way to appreciate the shorter modern era Maiden songs. The problem is, I actually like the long Maiden albums. I like the long songs as well. So I don't think I could construct what I would consider a perfect modern era Maiden album on those kind of stipulations. But I still want to, show my appreciation for the shorter Maiden songs from the modern era. So I have another anachronistic approach to this. I'm going to imagine that I'm going to put together an 80s style Iron Maiden mixtape to listen to while commuting to school or to work or whatever on a Walkman, of course. So I've gone from my starting point is that I have a 90-minute blank tape, and my task is to put together a mixtape from modern era Maiden songs. And that means, because this was, back when I actually made mixtapes, a principle that I kind of used as my guideline was I want as many songs as possible on one mixtape, so I can listen to as many different songs as possible. So that means that if I'm going to make one from modern era Maiden songs, I will have to pick the shorter songs. So this is my way of imagining that I'm putting together a perfect 80s style mixtape. And remember that perfect means perfect for me. I guess like fulfilling my needs back when I did a lot of mixtapes and listened to them. So it's a 90-minute mixtape, so I have 45 minutes on either side, and it's gonna be an all-out Maiden mixtape, and it's gonna be all-out modern era Maiden songs, so from Brave New World up until and including Senjutsu. So here is side A, and I used the time calculator to add up the times and all that stuff. It's very, very helpful here. So side A will start out with Days of Future Past from Senjutsu. It's a 4 minutes song, more or less 4 minutes. And it's probably my favorite song from Senjutsu. I really like the opening kind of riff and nice vocal melodies. It's not a super fast song, but it's still kind of up tempo. So I figured that would be a nice way to open a mixtape like that. And it's followed by The Alchemist from The Final Frontier. The Final Frontier to me has always been, the first 4 songs are a bit, I've grown to appreciate them a bit more, but to me, The Final Frontier starts with the 4th song. That's where it really kicks off. And that is The Alchemist as far as I remember. But in any case, that's an up-tempo song. It has your twin guitar leads and all that good Maiden stuff. So I figured it would be a nice song to have, again, like in the early portions of this mixtape, and it's a shorter song too. It's followed by The Pilgrim from A Matter of Life and Death, 5 minutes more or less. This is a bit of a, I mean, it's still a metal song, but it's not as up tempo. It's a bit mellower, so I figured that would be kind of a nice song to have after The Alchemist, which is more up tempo. This is followed by The Fallen Angel from Brave New World, 4 minutes. Again, kind of a faster song, not super fast. More up tempo song, a bit heavier too. Some nice riffs and almost kind of like melodic riffs, which I quite appreciate. And then we have Wildest Dreams from Dance of Death. One of those up-tempo songs. And I would say it's the first song of all these songs I've listed so far, which also has kind of a feel-good vibe to it. A lot of the modern era Maiden albums start out with an up-tempo song that has kind of an uplifting, feel-good vibe to it. But I didn't want to start my mixtape with it, but I certainly wanted to have some of those songs in there because they're great for bicycling. So Wildest Dreams. And then we're going to slow down a bit. We're going to go a bit melancholic with Tears of a Clown from the Book of Souls. Almost 5 minutes. And this is a mid-tempo song. It's melancholic. It's a bit sad because it's about Robin Williams' suicide and his mental health problems and all that stuff. So I figured it might be a nice kind of, slow down kind of thing. You know what I mean? And I think it's a good song. I quite like it. It's not my favorite song of the album, but I quite like it. And then we are going into Stratego from Senjutsu, which is also almost 5 minutes, and it's one of the shorter songs from that album too. And it's not bad. So actually, a lot of people highlight that as their favorite song from the album. I quite like it too. It's followed by another one of those upbeat, feel-good kind of songs, Different World from A Matter of Life and Death. This is a song I actually did listen to on repeat a lot back when the album came out. While bicycling to work and from work, I just listened to it on not an iPod, but an older MP3 player. And it's a great song. I really like Bruce Dickinson's vocals here. He tries to go for some lower register vocals in the part of the chorus, and it works very well. The pre-chorus, and it works very well. Probably one of my favorite Maiden songs from the modern era, and I would say A Matter of Life and Death is probably maybe in competition with Brave New World. A Matter of Life and Death is my favorite modern era Maiden album. I know a lot of people don't like it, and that's fine, but I like it. This is followed by Speed of Light from the Book of Souls, 5 minutes. Different World is 4 minutes, 17 seconds. Speed of Light, roughly 5 minutes. It's more of a hard rock song. It has some nice hard rocking riff stuff going on. And that's always nice for bicycling. And it's a shorter song, and it's a good song. I like it. And it's followed by Rainmaker from Dance of Death, 3 minutes, 48 seconds. Which is, it's kind of an interesting song. It has some really nice kind of lead guitar melody theme going on. It is kind of uplifting, but also kind of sad in a way. And I think it's a great song, and I figured it would be a nice song to finish off side A on. So 10 songs from the modern era crammed into one side of a mixtape. So 10 songs that just goes to show that they actually do have some kind of, short songs for sure. And it's kind of nice to be able to pick out some short songs, listen to them, and appreciate them anew. But this is a mixtape, so there's a side B as well. So, uh, side B is going to begin on The Wicker Man, the album opener from Brave New World. It's a great album opener, probably one of my favorite modern era Maiden songs too, and an important song as well. When the entire album, Brave New World, when it came out, I was still a university student, and I just have many good memories of listening to that album while studying. I know that doesn't sound very rock and roll, but that's what I liked doing at the time. So there you go. And it's a great song. 5 minutes, sorry, 4.5 minutes more or less. Followed by Montsegur from Dance of Death, a heavier, darker song. I also really like Dance of Death. The guitar tone is actually a bit more punchy and a bit heavier on that album. And Montsegur is it's a great, just traditional heavy metal song with a drive that's quite different from The Wicker Man. So I figured it would be nice to have it right after The Wicker Man as well. This is followed by 5 minutes, 52 seconds, almost 6 minutes, When the River Runs Deep from the Book of Souls. This is also more of a hard rocking song with some more kind of hard rock riffs. It's a little bit fast, but not super fast. So, but after Montsegur, I figured it would be kind of fun to have some more kind of hard rock stuff. This is followed by Mother of Mercy from The Final Frontier. Mother of Mercy is interesting because it's actually one of the long Maiden songs condensed down to 5 minutes 20 seconds long melodic intro, and then it kicks into some more metal stuff. And to me it shows that Iron Maiden, well, they actually know how to do those miniature versions of those long songs. And also it's a bit more of a mellow song, so I figured it would be fun to have that song between When the River Runs Deep and then the next song from Brave New World, The Mercenary, which is just a heavy metal song, and a bit of a heavier song too. And I mean, a song I love. I love all the songs from Brave New World because it's a very important album to me as well. Followed by The Writing on the Wall, 6 minutes 13 seconds. From Senjutsu, was it the first single from Senjutsu that came out? And I was a bit skeptical when I first heard it. The first time I heard it was the music video single that they released on YouTube. And then I decided to listen to it. I think it was maybe on Spotify or something. And I liked it much better when I just listened to it. And I ended up buying the album, of course. But anyways, it's more of... it's inspired by Irish country music, I think. So it's a bit of a slower song. It has a bit of a folky feel, a country western feel to it. But I figured it's a nice song to have after The Mercenary. And this is going to be followed by another more mellow kind of song, The Man of Sorrows from the Book of Souls, 6 minutes, 28 seconds. I included this one because it's a song I don't listen to that much, although I think it's pretty good. And it's also this kind of miniature version of a long song. And had I really made this mixtape, I would use it as an opportunity to also listen a lot to some of the songs that I don't gravitate to that often when I listen to the entire album. And I'm going to finish off the entire mixtape with New Frontier from Dance of Death. 5 minutes, more or less. It's one of those up-tempo, feel-good kind of songs. And it was written by Nico McBrain, as far as I remember. He wrote it on a bass. He wrote the bass line. And just nice to have one of the few songs that he wrote. So that's side B. So this is my attempt at constructing the perfect 80s style 90 minutes Iron Maiden mixtape with shorter songs from the modern era. And it's more realistic for me to put together this than it is to construct the perfect Iron Maiden album with modern era short songs. Again, because I like the long songs and I like the long albums. But if I were to put together a mixtape, I would want as many songs as possible on that mixtape, and that would be the shorter songs. So, and also I would pick out maybe some songs that I don't gravitate to that often when I listen to the entire album, like songs that maybe I zone out on a bit. So this is kind of a response to Josh Keech's very interesting video where he put together his version of a perfect modern era Iron Maiden album. Although I had my own twist on it, I will encourage a lot of people to do something like that, do a response video to Josh's video. It is very interesting, and I know a lot of people are a bit tired of the long modern era Maiden songs, and it's very interesting to me, as someone who likes those songs. It's very interesting to me to hear other people's takes on the long songs and also on the short songs. And I do agree with Josh Keech that the short Iron Maiden songs of the modern era, they actually deserve a lot of appreciation because they are actually very good. Thanks for watching.